Good morning. It's Julie Murphy with Arizona Farm Bureau. It's Friday and it's Talk to a Farmer Friday. Blessings on this June the 28th, 2024, as we continue our weekly series of our Talk to a Farmer Fridays. I typically am interviewing farmers and ranchers and others, by the way, all over the state of Arizona. After we conclude the Census of Agriculture series, which I'm still on today, we will also feature a bunch of our chefs, in fact, some of our well-known chefs that love to feature our local Arizona agriculture products. So today my guest is JR and Stephanie Howard with the Star Barn. That's one of their ag businesses. So give me just a second and I'm going to pull them into the experience. I've invited them in and let's see if they show up. Remember when we're live with Instagram, we can do a split screen and pull in our farmers and ranchers. There they are. Yay. Okay, so
Hi.
It's good to see you guys. How's everything going?
Good. How are you doing, Julie?
Doing very well, thank you. And happy to have you guys as my guests today. So I'm going to introduce you, and then I'm also going to have a little bit of an introduction about the series that we've been doing, which is the USDA Census of Agriculture. But again, for those that are joining me live, I'm interviewing Stephanie and JR Howard. They're from the Graham County area, and they have a cool story, and I'm excited to share it today. So my introduction, again, our series has been on the USDA Census of Agriculture. And the whole point is to kind of share some of these very interesting Arizona numbers. I'm going to drill down a little bit and even share some of the numbers that are specific to the county that you two live in, Graham County. But what I want to highlight this time, because we haven't touched that much, I think this makes you participating in the Census of Agriculture the 9th interview we've done on this. But sharing some statistics. Thank you for those of you that have joined us live for Talk to a Farmer Friday. Howard family, we have 8 people live with us. Almost 83% of Arizona's agricultural commodities, keep that figure in mind, 83% of Arizona's ag commodity sales came from 177 farms with sales of 5 million or more. And everybody's going, oh my gosh, that's huge. But that's gross sales, that's not net income. And then almost 94% of the sales in Arizona came from only 433 farms with those sales of 1 million or more. So I know for some of my live audience that's hanging out with us today, they might be saying, well, gosh, there's a lot of big farms in Arizona. Not really. We have 16,000 farms. The majority of them are small. Some of them come from the tribal lands and they're subsistence farms. So does that mean? They're growing just for themselves and their neighbors. And if they're the Hopi and Navajo, they're probably growing that ceremonial corn. So most of our farms in Arizona are actually small, but it's our medium to large size, whether that be an acreage or sales, that are very important for the economic contribution that they make. Hopefully, and those that have joined us, feel free to post some questions if you have some questions for me. No promise I have the answer, but we can get it for you later. So in Graham County, where Stephanie and JR come from, and what we're going to be talking about now, according to the most recent census, the USDA Census of Agriculture, there's 359 farms. There's 1.2 million acres in farming in Graham County. That's a pretty impressive number, right?
Are you sure that's right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would take in cattle operations and all, yeah.
Take in cattle and crops. And I was like you, I double checked it. Land in farms on acreage, 1,215,892, but that's pretty impressive. Wow. And yes, that does include our livestock operations. Yeah. So the average, and this I thought was interesting too, the average acreage is 3,387 acres. That's the average size farm in Graham County. The market value of products sold in Graham County is it's almost 57 million. It's 56,969,000 in market value. Again, that's the baseline gross sales. That's not factoring in when you have to subtract all your costs, and your net income looks a lot different than the gross sales. 15% of the farms in Graham County have sales of 100,000 or more. 5% are direct market farms. I thought that was kind of interesting. I would classify your Star Barn, even though it's kind of more agritainment, I would classify that as kind of direct market, because the two of you are connecting specifically directly with the public. 75% of the fat farms in Graham County are family farms, and I was kind of surprised at that. That seems kind of low. The statewide average on that is 94 and 95%. And then cotton, and I love this because I'm a cotton kid myself. Cotton is your top crop in Graham County, and that's obvious. So today, and for those that have joined us live, Graham County farmers JR and Stephanie Howard grow cotton and forage crops as well, correct?
Yeah.
And also have an agritainment business, the Star Barn. So first question is for JR. Tell us about your business, your crop business, your cotton and forage crops.
Okay. Yeah, so we are mainly cotton as well. And we grow two different types of cotton. There's a long staple and a short staple variety that we grow. And lately it's been mostly the long staple. We call it ELS, or extra long staple. And that's mainly because, the price is usually a lot better on that. We do yield a little bit less on long staple, but we are blessed to be able to grow that here in our valley. It makes us a little bit more money than going with the upland varieties. So we're probably 75%
Really?
ELS and probably 25% of the upland. So
that's completely a reverse in some ways in the valley. Do you think it's your microclimate in Graham County?
Yeah, so we're kind of blessed with the climate that cools off at night, and it really helps the cotton rest at night, and it helps our yield.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're and we have just a long enough season to grow it. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks longer to grow an ELS compared to an upland.
Okay. And then your family's been farming in the Graham County area for quite some time, right?
Yeah. So my family migrated here from Tennessee, and back in the early 1900s, and always had our hands in agriculture. There's been a break in the generational farming for half a generation, where my grandpa farmed, and he got out of it, and then my dad loved it so much that he figured out a way to get back into it when in his 40s.
That's awesome. And I remember you telling us about it. I think that's way cool, because it's not easy to get back in it after you pop out of it.
No,
the Murphys have popped back out of it. If any of us want to get back into it, it wouldn't be easy. But so my next question is for Stephanie, and I want to hear about the Star Barn, but I want to give some props to Stephanie. So I met her for the first time it'll be a year ago, I think, in September. And JR, I have to tell you, Stephanie is the one that has brought the elegance and sophistication to the Star Barn, and I just am so impressed. And you're the one that told me too. And then when I met her in person, I said, okay, I see this. And then as we did the tour, I just thought there is so much of Stephanie and her elegance that's reflected in the Star Barn. So everyone, if you're in that area, if you're in Cochise County, if you're in Graham County, if you're in Greenlee County, if you want to have the agriculture event experience for either a wedding or a bar mitzvah or you need to connect with the Howard family and the Star Barn. So tell us about the genesis of the Star Barn, Stephanie.
Well, thank you. So we started farming out here in 2017, and then we were able to buy it in 2018. And we've talked about doing something like this before. And we were like, we've got this place here up on the farm. We've got these old barns, and our niece asked if she could be married up here. And then from there, we just had some interest in it. And we're like, well, should we do it? And if you know JR, he just, if you even think about it, he's like, let's just do it. Like, he just jumps right in. That's what I love about him. I'm more of the type that's like, oh, I don't know. Is this going to work? I'm not sure. But anyways, we started working on it and building it, and we just got more and more interest in it, and it's done well. Like, I'm surprised. I thought, we might have a few things a year, but people really seem to like it. And it's a big space, so it's a place where big crowds can gather, which I love. I don't know, we've just kind of slowly been doing things here and there, and I could do this for the rest of my life. Like, I could continue building it because I have big dreams for this place. It just
awesome.
Yeah. So, and then the Star Barn, I always like to tell people they call him Jar. Well, when my roommate actually introduced us, and she was like, I know this guy Jar, and I thought, who would name their kid Jar? Like, I thought that was so funny. Anyways, it's JR, and so when you put Steph and Jar together, it's Star. So Star Barn. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. So what's the largest event that you have hosted for a local family?
Well, we had the Howard family reunion out here back in May, and that was, we didn't take a head count, but we had a lot.
Probably.
Local high schools out here that have done a homecoming and a winter formal, and when we pulled up to check on things, it was so packed, and I was like, oh boy, this is, it's too much. But the kids, they get in there and they fit, and they like to be in there and dancing, and they just kind of jump around, and that was a big crowd. Mm-hmm. There was probably over 300 for that. We have capacity set at 225, 250. We feel like that's a good, comfortable number for this space.
Yeah.
So Gracie Howard just joined us. Is she family?
Yes, that's our niece.
She's a niece.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi,
awesome.
Gracie.
So the excitement that I have in this is that it brings together the agriculture setting, because literally somebody's getting born, not that yet. Married in a barn. It makes me think, do you guys remember the movie The Proposal with Sandra Bullock?
Yes.
And she got married in a barn and had a cute line. But then when you saw the barn in the movie, it was just elegant. And actually, that was a brilliantly made movie. But anyway, the whole concept of bringing agriculture and family and tradition together, and you really can't do it better. And I have seen it last September, right, is when we were there. I loved it, the whole setting. It is completely roomy, and I think that's really critical for families when they're experiencing their special events. So the other thing that I wanted to stress and highlight is you can go to Instagram to learn more about the Star Barn, and it's literally Star Barn. We're on your account right now. And then what's the other thing I was going to tell? So if I wanted to schedule, let's say it was one of my nieces or nephews' graduations, and we happen to live there. I live in Maricopa County, so it'd be a drive to get up there. But what would I do to try to schedule?
Just my phone number is listed on there, so you can call or text or email, and I run you through how everything works. I'll usually email out our paperwork that's got more details, and then I like to set up a time to like a walkthrough, just so people know exactly what it is. So I don't like people to book unless they've actually been here and seen it, know what they're getting.
Now, I got a vibe when I was there in September that you guys are fairly booked out. Is that still the case, or is there ebbs and flows to the business?
Yeah, this year, all of our fall weddings we have a couple in August, which we try to block off our summer months. It's so hot. It's so hot out here. We do our best to keep the barn cool. We have some evaporative coolers in there, and we put some fans in and spray foamed our roof. But from August to the second week in December, all of our weekends are booked as of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a lovely time, and I don't know if most people realize it. You'll have to tell us the mountains in the background, but based on where you guys have the archway for people to get married, there's just some beautiful country for wedding pictures and everything. So
Yeah, let me figure out if
you can flip it around. Oh, yes. Now, what are those mountains in the background?
Well, that's that's Mount Graham back there.
There you go.
Yeah, and our neighbors put up a fence, kind of blocking it lately, but
You can still see it, though.
still see it. This area out here is kind of a landmark out here. It's called Red Knolls. A lot of people are familiar with that, and they go explore caves out there, and it's just we're kind of surrounded by mesquites and kind of secluded back here in our own little area.
It's just lovely. It's absolutely lovely, and the neatest thing about it, it's such a comfortable space, and it's roomy. You've got elbow room. That's the thing I like about it. So I have another question for Stephanie, because JR, one of my questions was about your family farming, and I had asked you that in the beginning, so you already answered that. So what's been the most fun, Stephanie, or unique about this particular, if I'm fair in saying, agritainment, event-tainment kind of business that you guys have done?
I have probably a lot of answers to that question. I love that we're kind of making our dreams a reality here. My sister, when we started this, she said, "I love that you guys are turning dirt into dreams." And I thought that was super cute, because that's kind of how it feels. And then just whenever I come out here, I just feel like it's a gathering place. Like, I love the word gather. And when JR and I will drive out here and check on events, you'll see kids in the yard like throwing the frisbee or playing football or cornhole. And I love coming here and just seeing big families and friends gather. I feel like this world is so busy and there's really not time to slow down. But when we come out here and we see people talking and having an event with their family and just enjoying their time together, that's the best part of this. That's why we did this. This is what this is for. And then I think it's really neat. My grandparents actually live here in this valley, and I would come visit them every summer. I'm not from here, but they actually rented out their yard for events, and that's where JR and I had our reception. And so I kind of feel a little bit like I'm carrying on a little tradition that my grandparents started. So
neat.
Yeah.
So where are you from then?
I'm born in Texas, raised in Orlando, Florida.
And did you guys meet each other in college, or what's your love story?
Yeah, so
you can tell it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not romantic.
Yeah, not really. So my grandpa had a park, a trailer park, where mostly college kids are staying for going to Eastern Arizona College.
Okay.
And I learned how to fix things. I was a maintenance guy there, and one of her friends was living there, and I guess she needed something. She wasn't living there, but she needed something in her place fix, like a sink or something, and her friend brought me over to her house, and I was fixing their sink, and that's the first place we met, was my head underneath her sink fixing a leak. So
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think it's more romantic than you think, because
well,
so,
Yeah.
so
maybe if you saw the view, you wouldn't think that way.
Kind of met in the bathroom. So
so that's so funny. So you thought, oh my gosh, am I going to fall in love with a plumber? But then when you found out he was a farmer, then it worked out a little bit better, right?
yeah.
I
Hey,
guess
and
so.
no negatives to plumbers, but
No.
We appreciate them. So
yeah, I totally appreciate them. But I love that story. So for both of you, how do you manage the day to day? Because life is busy, and then you have, is it 3 kids? Am I
4.
right? 4.
We have
Okay.
2 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
We just don't sleep much. He's got gray hair. I have wrinkles. That's, I don't know. How are we managing this?
We just kind of put out the fires. That's all we
Yeah.
do is,
But you're loving it. I get it.
try to do your best and
Yeah.
just hope that it all turns out right.
It's
Well, and I
really,
get a vibe though that you guys are loving it, Stephanie, to a statement you made, and maybe that's a tagline for you, turning dirt into dreams. Part of it, you know. I mean, I love that line.
yeah. Yeah, I feel too like it's so important to have a good partner. We work really well together. So when I'm having a bad day, he helps me, and he doesn't have a lot of bad days. But
Well, I just don't show them.
yeah, but I feel like we're a really good team, and we work really well together. So he's, my first call if there's ever anything going on. So
Awesome. Pausing for station identification. This is Julie Murphy with Arizona Farm Bureau on Talk to a Farmer Friday. We do this every Friday. We attempt to do it every Friday. We will not host it next week because that's 4th of July weekend. Next series, after we wrap up this Census of Agriculture series, which is what we're focused on right now, profiling all of the diversity of our farm life. And that's what we're doing with Stephanie and J.R. Howard in Graham County. They have a very traditional farm, which is crops, which is forage and cotton, but they also have an agritainment type of setting for the Star Barn, which means that you and I can schedule events and enjoy the agriculture community thanks to Star Barn. So JR, my question for you is, what makes Graham County agriculture special or unique? You kind of hinted to it. I didn't realize that microclimate in Graham County allows you guys to do a better job of growing the long staple cotton because it cools down enough. I think I have heard where it has to get below 80 degrees at night for the cotton to rest, but is there any other kind of differentiator?
Well, we're kind of off by ourselves. We're not on any main, interstate. So we're kind of secluded from a lot of stuff, and we could probably grow anything here, but we are set up for cotton. It's been basically the only crop that we feel like we can make money on because we are set up for it. We got our gins. We got 2 gins here, and any other crop, trucking it, shipping it would just eat up all of our profits. So
Sure.
So cotton is our thing here, and anything else grown here is sold locally. So for the most part.
Right.
So
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing, and we've got nice cattle operations around here too, and it's cotton and cattle, copper, cotton and cattle.
Yep.
Is what we do here. So.
And so you're hitting 3 of the 5 C's. Actually, you're hitting 4 because I think anybody that's in agriculture can also claim the climate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So That is awesome. I didn't think of that. The seclusion maybe eats into profits because of the distance slash transportation.
Yeah.
So you're kind of, and people a lot of times don't realize this. They say, well, why are you growing cotton? It uses a lot of water. Well, number one, a lot of you guys are on drip. And even if it's the basin irrigation, which quote unquote is kind of like flood irrigation, most of you laser leveled your fields, so you've reduced your water use by a third. You can't just randomly come up with another crop if there's no market for it, or
Right.
if in the growing of it, like the transportation, steals slash destroys some of the profitability. I love farmers that try to, non-farmers that try to tell us how to farm.
Yeah.
So,
If we could make money doing it another way, we would do it.
oh yeah, because you're businesses. That's the other thing people have to realize. If you think of a farmer, you think of a farm, you forget that it's actually a business.
Yeah.
It may be a family-run business, but it is a business. So
Yeah.
this is for both of you. I've been asking a lot of farmers and ranchers this for quite some time. How hopeful, and either one of you can start first, how hopeful are you about Arizona agriculture and certainly in Graham County?
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
I'm very hopeful. The only thing, some of the things that do scare me are some of these lawsuits against us with our water usage and water rights. Other than market prices taking a real bad turn, I think we'll be here doing this. My kids will be doing this. So, I'm very hopeful. If and that's the nature of a farmer, right? Is you got faith when you put that seed in the ground that it's going to come up, and we're always looking at the future. And it's you have to be hopeful to be a farmer. So, anyways.
Well, and you guys are a faith-based family like myself, and we pray a lot, don't we?
Absolutely.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Multiple times a day.
Yeah.
Yes. So Stephanie, any additional thoughts or comments based on what JR just said?
No, he said it perfectly, and I can't imagine this valley without our farms. I can't imagine driving into this valley and everything just being brown. They turn this valley green. They make it beautiful. The farmers do, and we love them. We appreciate the farmers.
That's so awesome. Hair by Paul, who is from California, and I believe he told me one time that he's a member of the California Farm Bureau. Thanks for joining. I've missed you, Paul. I don't think, unless I just haven't been paying attention, I haven't seen you for a while. So welcome to today's. And then we just had a couple other people join. I really appreciate this live has been excellent. You've got 10 live right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're in the couple dozen, just because some people come on and then have to pop off. But also for our listeners, if you want to watch the whole thing and hear some of the insightful commentary on Graham County agriculture and the Howard crop business, and also their Star Barn, you're going to have to rewatch this. We post it on YouTube and we share it on our Arizona Farm Bureau. And JR and Stephanie, this has just been a treasure to me. I feel like I've gotten to hang out with you again, and love you guys, and I'm so proud of what you do. And blessings to you and your 4 kids and the extended family and all of Graham County farmers and ranchers.
Thank you, Julie. We really appreciate what you do, how you promote ag and the hard work that you do. You're out there just making us look good.
Well,
so
I don't have to try very hard. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, you do. Except for my wife, she makes it look good.
God bless you, and I appreciate those kind words, because the ideas are popping off my head all the time, and my desire is to make sure that we connect you, the farmers, with our Arizona families, because you know what? We're all in this together. If all I ever do is simply eat, I'm part of this whole cycle of life, and farmers are such a critical part of that whole supply chain. So blessings to you again. And we'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.